Hi guys. Hello there. We are officially live in the building. We are live. Hi Stephanie. Hi Kimmy. I'm going to dive right into an introduction so we can get things crack-a-lackin'. I'm really excited to kick off tonight with my guest. My guest is a chef. She is a keto coach. She is a makeup artist. And she is all around amazing and one of my dear friends. And her name is Kimmi. And I'm super excited for you guys to join us and our deep dive into everything food, dieting, and just all around wellness. Hi, Scott. So we are going to. Kimmi? Yes!
Hello.
Hi, Queen. Look at you. She's giving me all kinds of face. Honey, yes, you look amazing.
How are you?
I'm so good. How are you today?
I'm great. I'm great. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you loud and clear. It's super good. Hi, Peggy.
Perfect. Hi, angelic ones.
Yay! Okay, so, did you get to hear my intro?
Of course. Thank you so much.
Okay,
I love you. Thank you so
I
much.
I threw you. You're a woman like every woman, ironically, I've had on. You're a woman of many talents, and I love to talk about how multifaceted everybody is. So I think that's important, and I'm really excited you decided to join me and us and the collective and have a fun chat tonight.
I'm so excited. I mean, I've been tuning in to your entire Awaken week, and it's been so inspirational. So it means so much
Mm.
to me that I actually get to be part of it. I'm sure there are so many other people enjoying it as well.
I love you, and let's do a cheers because I know you have a drink without further ado.
I might have a little something.
Just a little sip, sip, sip. Let's do a
Cheers.
little cheers. Cheers, boo. Okay, let me get a little. I can't get crazy with sipping this because what are you drinking? I'm drinking mezcal mixed. We'll talk about later. What are you drinking?
Crazy. These are my favorite electrolytes. They're citrus flavored from LMNT. I absolutely love them.
Okay, I live. We'll talk about that later too.
Yeah.
Without further ado, um, I want to kind of open it up with you. I want to talk about first and foremost, dun, 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 keto coaching,
Yeah.
because obviously you're, keto coaching with Kimmi, and I want everybody to kind of get a vibe for what it is. So take it away.
Yes, it's a great question too, because honestly, I don't think it's such a common thing quite yet. I still believe that keto has a little bit more time to become much more mainstream and popular. But what I do as a keto coach is be your biggest cheerleader. First of all, number one, I'm here to support all the positivity, no negativity, no blame, no shame, zero, zilch, none of that. I'm like that person's, you know how everyone has the angel and the devil? I'm
Absolutely.
the angel for sure. But I'm the ass kicking angel where I, I battle all the negative thoughts that are happening in your mind and we stay on track to accomplish your goals. So it's like being a cheerleader and then your accountability partner at the same time.
I love it. And I feel like, well, we're going to talk about later, like my experience with you and how amazing it was.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely, with keto, let's talk to everybody that's going to watch this now or watch it later. Talk about keto. What the hell is keto? What
Yeah,
is it?
yeah. So I would think of keto. I don't use the word diet. That's not in
Hmm.
my vocabulary. There's so many connotations that comes with that word. You probably heard a lot of people who are like, keto is not a diet, it's a lifestyle, right? And
Right.
they're right. Like that's totally what it is. Kind of like how living your life in an Ayurvedic type of lifestyle, that's you wouldn't think of Ayurveda as like a diet, right? It's a
Right.
lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
Exactly. It's so much more intentional than just a diet. Like it's actually changing your outward habits and what you're intaking into your body so that the overall goals all work together to just build such much more positive life for you. So that's how
Okay.
I feel about keto. But what keto actually is it's changing your metabolic state where you're not burning carbs or sugar as a
Okay.
source of energy. So instead of going for the carbs and sugar, your body starts burning fat.
Okay, I love that. So that's like the simple yet metaphoric example of exactly what keto is. So I
Yeah.
feel like people are gonna get a super good grip on that because, oh my God, how many fucking people, oops, sorry. How many, just kidding, it's my channel, we can say whatever the hell we want. How many people truly, we're in the West Coast,
Right.
talk, oh my God, keto, oh my God, keto life, keto this, keto
Mhm.
that. It's like, it's not that complicated. I feel like just like you explained it, it comes down to the basic principles and it's a lifestyle.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, like Melissa's saying, she loves eliminating the word diet. And I
Hi,
totally agree.
Melissa.
Hi, Melissa. Thanks for joining. And so, keto to me, I mean, I wouldn't be talking about it with other people. I wouldn't be your coach throughout that process if it truly wasn't something that changed my life. So, I literally could talk, I mean, you and I
Absolutely.
met in bonded over beauty and
Hmm.
living healthily inside and out, and keto just kind of like magnified my entire life and all the things that have to do with that. So
And I love that. And I love that it goes back to a lifestyle. Um, I want to go into our second question already because you're already organically going there. It's what is it like to be keto?
yes.
And give us a few simple rules.
Ooh, I love it. Okay, so the thing about keto is, yes, when you first start it, you really do have to be very intentional and
Okay.
it can be challenging at times, but it's so worth it. And I think the biggest misconception about keto is that you have to be like zero carbs your entire life. That is not the
Mm-hmm.
case at all. So what I get to do is have more energy, which means I get to have more fun when my
Mm-hmm.
diet is primarily keto. I get to sleep better, which means I get to be more productive during the day when I'm doing keto. My mental clarity is off the charts. It's like I'm Spider Woman, like I just have like a seventh sense or something. I mean, honestly, it's like unbelievable, and you just kind of have to feel it to believe it. So, although it takes, like I said, some intention and kind of strong will to get into a metabolic state of ketosis, once you're in it and you feel all the benefits.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm like, okay, so talk about the real quick side note, aside from the simple rules of keto, talk
Mm-hmm.
about ketosis because I'm curious about this too because we've kind of touched on it, but tell
Sure.
us like what ketosis is.
Mm-hmm. Ketosis is when your body's basically, like I said earlier, no longer burning carbs or glucose or sugar for
Okay.
energy, but it's now burning fat, which in turn produces ketones in your liver. And you just have these ketones that are produced that also get turned into energy within the brain. So
Whoa.
it's kind of like you start burning all the fat that's on your body, and then all of a sudden these ketones are created to act as a second source of fuel, which is totally natural. Um, and and then you get uplifted, mental clarity and positivity, and it's actually keto is very common. People start doing it because they want to treat their anxiety or they want to treat their depression, which
Wow.
just fulfills the circle of what you're eating completely affects your overall health, not just your weight. Your weight is basically an after effect. Losing weight on keto is like a plus side because all the other benefits just turn out to be so much more important.
Do you, and the thing is with that, so that's interesting because it's like actually when you said you're like, I feel like I have a spider sense and
Hmm.
energy, you actually do get energy from it naturally because when you're in ketosis, you have a natural high. So
Yeah.
that's really cool and interesting. What about like foundation rules? Hi, Wen. Um, about
And
about
oh,
being like, hey Anna, about being in ketosis. Like what about guidelines with staying in keto, like
oh,
for people?
sure. Oh man, this is so interesting because people can get so deep in the keto community.
Right.
There are a million
They go
arguments.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Keto people can be really intense a lot of the time. And I try to be on the more laid back side of it, like, hey, I'm totally down to talk about it for 6 hours a day, but I'm not gonna like slam it in your face.
Right.
Um, so being in ketosis, like once getting in there, usually for the average person takes about 4 to 7 days. If
Wow.
you if you are really being quite intentional, again, is the word I use,
Mhm.
with your diet and lessening the carbs and sugar, you can actually get into ketosis, you know, in as quickly as a week. And then the second phase, which most people aren't aware about, is actually becoming fat adapted. So it's not just about being ketosis all the time. It's about being
Okay.
more fat adapted, which is like a long-term goal, is to be fat adapted, while getting into ketosis is the short-term goal.
Okay, so that's interesting because it's like the layers of it. So
Mm-hmm.
there really isn't like, well, I mean, I guess like in order to stay in keto, you have to follow those guidelines, but there's no real rules, right? Like, what about as far as like, well, okay, what about like as far as like foods and stuff?
Yeah. So another misconception, people think keto is super restrictive,
Oh my God.
gonna take all the fun out of your life, you know what I mean? And I
Mm-hmm.
totally get it. Like, I'm a self-professed sugar addict, self-professed carb lover. When Atkins was a thing, I was like, y'all are crazy. I'm never giving that up. And then I realized that being in ketosis is like being on a natural high, on the best mountain high that you've ever felt without drugs. So
Praise, praise.
that's my
You heard
personal
it. You heard it
umbrella
live.
for it, is keto is like being high without drugs. Um, but
But that's inspiring. But that's side note. That's inspiring, and that like if I didn't know you or me or we're just watching this, that's really fucking cool because it's like that. You know what I'm saying? That's your honest
yeah,
vibe about it. Like that's
it is.
rad.
It really is, and I wouldn't say that anywhere, honestly. Like, I feel like talking to you about it, I can tell you how I really just, this is what it is. But other people who, aren't as open to it I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's a great thing. I personally just, it works for me, but really I'm
Yeah.
like, y'all, it's like being on drugs. It feels
Well,
good.
here, side note, it's like being on drugs. No
Yeah.
disclaimer.
I figured this
I
week would love the honesty.
no, 100%. Anybody that watch, hello, we keep it real. So okay, you know what? Because of that, I love that, and that's kind of like in closure with the part two to my second question.
Hmm.
Side note with that, let's take a second. I actually want to dive into and talk about when you coached me. And I kind of want to talk about that because what's so interesting as we're talking and I'm like realizing about it, the beautiful thing about that, and then we'll dive into like your coaching technique, how it works.
Hmm.
Um, you coached me more specifically on dieting, exercise, lifestyle than actually keto as a whole, which is fabulous because
Right.
guess what? You knew when we talked, I was in a vulnerable state. I had went through a shit ton of stuff as we all
Hmm.
do and we all are right now. But
Hmm.
your coaching style alone was enough to help me through that, aside from any keto and anything in that vibe.
Hmm.
And that's what I feel like is so important and interesting. Um, and
Yes.
I want to talk about your coaching, how that works
Yes.
because of it. Like I just had to say, I'm like, no, we have to go that route.
Sure, I would love to. So that's the thing is you don't have to be wanting to be in ketosis to work with me. I love coaching people. I've coached people just to get their kitchen organized. I've helped people set goals that are as simple as get this drawer in my kitchen that I don't even open it anymore because it gives me so much anxiety. Like that is the monster in their kitchen that exists that has been waiting for 5 years. You know what I mean? I
Absolutely.
want people to get to the place where they can open up that drawer, throw everything out, reorganize it the way they want, and finally feel good in the kitchen again and feel happy to provide this sustenance for themselves and be naturally thinking about their nutrition rather than seeing it as a chore.
And and I feel like that's a good point because so many people, they get to that point because they think if it's a chore, they're like, oh, I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that. And then it's like, you need to like Marie Kondo their ass and like tell them to like fix it.
Yeah,
Um,
right. Because it's this crazy source of, just challenge that exists for people that I think just needs more attention in everyone's life. I realize that it doesn't matter what diet you're on or what foods you're avoiding or what you're allergic to. The thing that really gets to people is just some of them haven't learned how to enjoy food in an honest way. Some of them just haven't made that connection that this is a ritual in a way that is feeding my
love
soul.
that.
Yeah, this is something that I get to do for myself multiple times a day.
Uh-huh.
It's like building that positivity with yourself and your relationship with whatever foods that you're eating at the time. Like the other thing is no one's ever succeeded at a diet without knowing how to cook. And
Right.
so I loved working with you
Hi,
because
Rylan.
hey, because you told me, look, I'm in a rut. I'm eating the same things all the time. Like, I can't have another taco night. I need to try something new. And
Yes.
so we looked at some new types of food for you. We looked at some recipes and you got to spice things up a little bit, like literally and figuratively.
But I will say from that, yes, yes, and yes, you were a big spice, honey, in the form of a coaching form. And everything else aside, you gave me the inspiration to clean up my diet, change it up, and then also clean up my exercise routine.
Mm,
That is so fucking crucial, and I still use that today. So your coaching aspect is like huge, and I feel like, or is it safe to say that even if like, somebody's watching us and they're gonna watch later, like, oh, I don't want to be keto, you
right.
can coach them with whatever,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes, I'm not here to tell you what to eat. I'm not here to tell you what your meal plan is or like what your calorie count is or what your macros are. Like, I'm not trying to tell you any of that. I'm just here to help you define your goals, get
Hmm.
them not just in writing, but get them down visually, get them so that they're in your mind subconsciously all day, every day, and that eventually your body just starts taking the actions needed to accomplish them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, over and out. And that's what you did to me because you held me accountable. Even when I was like, I'm like, "Ugh, I don't want to talk about it again." Even then, it was like, cool. And yeah, we're friends, but it's like anybody that talks to you, you become like very likable fast. You know what I'm saying? So like you're just like a likable, very like vibey person. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that will help anybody like watches this too. It's like we're
Yeah,
not scripted right now. Like we love each other,
right,
but if we're
right.
gonna get annoyed, we're gonna get annoyed. So for you, I feel like you're such a good person to coach.
Thank you. I appreciate that totally. I mean, everyone has their own experiences, and
Let me take a sip.
it's easy to think that, food and nutrition isn't really that connected with
Hmm.
emotions or how you grew up or, what foods you were eating at the time certain specific time in your life. You know what I mean? But it is such a huge part of every season of your life. I mean, it plays a huge role, and there is so much happiness that can be derived from eating intentionally and changing it so that your body is happy instead of just like your desires first.
And with that, with you saying that, I feel like that brings me to a good point of something I want to ask you. Do you feel like people like, do you feel like they need to have like goals in mind, or do you feel like it's good to have like a clear mind, clear intentions, or do you think people should have like a set of intentions when they come to you, or
Mm-hmm.
do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense, the question?
Sure, absolutely. I think it's great either way. I mean, just being able to reach out to someone and say, I want to work on this part of myself is huge. You know what I mean? And so I'm happy to guide people through all those stages. And if you don't know exactly what your goals are, but you just know you want to feel better, you just know you want to enter your kitchen and eat a meal every day that makes you feel satisfied and happy. Um, that's all I need, to be honest. I just need people to want to do good for themselves, you
Right.
know? And that can be the biggest ask in the world sometimes.
Absolutely. And I mean, that was for me. It was like I just wasn't in, I wasn't in the place. It was like to do that myself. So
Mm-hmm.
you were that driving force that inspired me then, but to inspire me in the long run. Like, you know what I mean? Like where I'm at now as well.
I love it when you send me pictures of your meals that you make for yourself and they look so delicious. And I see like some sauces being scattered on there. And I see how you spent a little time chopping up this certain vegetable. You know what I mean? You
Hmm.
can look at a plate of food and you can tell when it was made with love. You can tell when it was made with TLC. You can tell if you were drinking a glass of wine and dancing around in your kitchen while you were making it, or if you were all stressed out and just hangry when you made it. You know what I mean?
100%. I do know what you mean. And it's like, I'm sure my God, I feel bad. Like, oh my God, probably like I was sending like at least it was like Annie Ann's, but I was saying like Annie Ann's probably box macaroni and cheese and like hot dogs
Yeah.
like a year ago. I'm like,
Right.
but now it's like, it's come a long way, and I
Mm-hmm.
see that now. I haven't thought of that until you just said that. Now I see it. Even that salad I sent you the other day.
Yeah,
It's
totally.
like there's intention. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm
And
sending this to
it
Kimmy.
was
It's
a
got to
salad.
be.
Yeah.
No, but it naturally looks like that. I'm not like, oh my
Oh,
God, it
it
needs to look
did.
good.
That's the most impressive. When you can make a salad look like the funnest Tuesday night, you know you're doing something right.
It's like that should be a hashtag. When you can make a salad look like a fun Tuesday night, like you're doing your whole life is like improving. Okay? All right.
I know. Drink to that. Drink to that.
Cheers. Let's do cheers. Cheers. And I want to talk about, oh my God, it's so good. Everybody goes organically with the questions because I feel like it's like the flow, our flow.
What the flow is.
And get the flow, girl. Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I want to talk about like I feel like I can still talk about, so when you coached me, it was like more or less getting me back on my feet with being inspired with food,
Hmm.
working that diet in, working that exercise in, which is amazing. What do you feel you can talk to like your services, like the services that you offer? How
Hmm.
does that work? What's it look like?
Yes. So they're expanding for sure because there's just so many ways to reach out and connect with people now. I mean, that might be a statement no one else is saying, but I personally, in a strange way,
I'm saying it.
I feel so connected with certain people right now, regardless of
Same.
staying inside. I feel like the quality of my connections right now are so great, and that's why I
Same.
like to keep my coaching very
Let me turn
intimate.
this light on.
Yeah. So I have the one-on-one coaching, of course, but I also have group coaching available, and I keep that group very intimate because we're not just we're not just, watching me talk for an hour while people
Mm-hmm.
comment in and say, hey, I'm here. Like, no, you are all on video chat. We are all experiencing this together.
Mm-hmm.
You think your kitchen's too small, or you don't have enough room to make yourself a proper meal or stick to your nutrition plan. I'm showing you my kitchen, y'all, and it is, trust me, it's
San
not,
Francisco realness.
yeah, this is Berkeley, California, yeah, crazy Bay Area realness here. So, I want people to feel like they're part of a group together. So
Mm-hmm.
I make sure that my group coaching sessions are intimate. I have one every single month. I max out at 10 people for each one
Okay.
because it's a community that we're building. So it's not a one-way street where people are just, like I said, watching me yap about how great cooking and food is, or keto is, for an hour. So I
When do you, sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt, but real quick, when are you starting those?
so I'm enrolling now, which is,
Okay.
I realize, the perfect time, because people want to be more inspired and more creative
Absolutely.
with their meals, especially if you have a specific nutrition plan. You know, I'm happy to cater anyone's coaching to whatever their desire is. You know what I mean? If
Yes.
if you want to eat a Twix bar and feel good about it, I'm here for you. Twix is my like
I
guilty
love
pleasure. So
Twix.
I'm just like, yo, let's fit that Twix bar in there. And then let's go cook this amazing meal and share what the experience was like. So that you just fall more and more in love with your personal goals, with your keto lifestyle, whatever.
I love that. And I'm like, now I want a Twix followed by an amazing Kimmy iconic keto dish,
Yeah.
but in time. Um,
Inside.
no, love that. So people shouldn't be afraid. The group
No,
vibe is so cool.
it is. It's so supportive. Listen, I don't let naysayers, I don't let judgmental people, I don't let just, Debbie Downers.
We don't have time
No,
for them
no,
anymore.
no, no. Yeah, yeah. No. My group coaching group teams are the most supportive people, because
Hmm.
what is cooking and what is food and what is diet and nutrition? It's something that we're all experiencing together.
Absolutely. And you know what? I feel like, to touch on that and to elaborate on it more, your work environment, the
Mm.
people you work with, is it toxic? Is it not? The industry you're in, your home environment, your exercise, they
Mm-hmm.
all they all tie in so beautifully,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. They're all interconnected. Absolutely. I know.
Cheers to wellness. Cheers to wellness.
Awaken Week 2020.
Awaken Week 2020.
So we're doing Awaken Week every year, right?
Well, yeah, and it's going to evolve because let me tell you, 2021 is when I'm going to be like, you'll see. I've got all these things
Ooh,
planned,
okay.
but no. We need to stay on these questions. Right back to the questions, girl. So I love the flow because the flow leads me into the next question. What's your favorite, not even keto dish? What is your favorite dish to cook? Like, girl, like, I don't care if it's like rice or whatever. Like, what is your favorite thing to cook? Like, people say like pasta, rice. People
Right.
say like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
what would you like just cook in like 5 seconds?
Quesadillas.
Oh
Let's
my
talk about
God. That is,
quesadillas.
oh my God. You say quesadilla. Hi, Allie. And hot liquor screams hot
Hot for
burritos.
pizza. Oh, pizza's a given. But if I'm actually like
Okay.
cooking something up in a fury, and I don't even have to think about it, all of a sudden I just go into autopilot into this blissful state where I know something delicious is entering my mouth. It's quesadillas.
Why is everybody obsessed? I'm obsessed with quesadillas too, and we've never talked about this because
No, we
literally it's
haven't.
like a Midwestern weird ass thing or like an East
Oh, is
Coast
it?
thing. Yeah, because we're like in the Midwest and the East Coast, and like in the West Coast, it's like nice out, it's hot, and you have the culture, and you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like I don't freaking know. That's just like really funny. And it gives me like Taco Bell vibes. But what do you put in it? Cheese, meat, what? Veggies?
Oh my gosh. See, this is what I especially love talking to people about is the
She's like a quarter pound of beef.
yeah. Oh, I could talk about this for hours, like the perfect quesadilla. So I actually really enjoy doing combination meat tofu right now because it's like, listen, I
Give
want to
us a
I want to get my protein in. Oh,
okay.
hell, shrimp, shrimp.
I love seafood
Yeah,
anything. That's mine that I put in them.
that
But
is your
I need to
thing.
hear.
That is your thing. I'm really loving the textures of tofu, and so instead of doing like all one meat, I'll just throw in
Uh-huh.
tofu with everything these days. I mean, shrimp and meat, just all the proteins,
Uh-huh.
tofu goes with. So I know tofu quesadillas aren't super
That sounds
standard or traditional, but I'm loving it.
that's amazing. And that still falls in keto because it's tofu and meat and then okay, but what kind of quesadilla is it, flour or corn?
Good
Does that
question.
matter?
It does, yeah. So it's what's interesting about like the current market right now for grocery stores is that they're trying to cater to keto people very slightly these days. I don't know if you
Hmm.
noticed, like Safeway will have tags in the dairy section that say keto friendly. Um, but the shelf stable items, there's just nothing going on really,
Hmm.
except for these low carb tortillas from Mission Tortilla. Um, they're not gluten free, but they are low carb. And so this is one of those things where I'm like, look, this is evidence that you
Hmm.
can still enjoy keto. There are much better alternatives these days. Um, there's many things you can make at home that honestly fulfill me in the same way as
Hmm.
other carb heavy ingredients do, like a burrito wrap or a tortilla. You can make your
Hmm.
own chips. Um, Honestly, the only thing I really miss on keto is In-N-Out Burger. So,
But can't you get protein style?
oh yeah, of course, for sure. But sometimes you need the bun and the French fries.
Well, I'm saying like, and then I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. No, no. In-N-Out is my ultimate weakness, and that's what's so funny to me is I'm like, look, I'll take In-N-Out over a gourmet hamburger any day.
Okay, but girl, it's the sauce. It's the sauce. It's
Yeah,
the sauce. I'm like a
sauce.
sauce, you know it.
Yeah, it is absolutely. Sauce is so important. I mean, save those packets at home. Make sure you refrigerate them because they do expire.
Okay, but like this is the thing for anybody also too that watches with it. Like you can have dairy sauces and whatnot and still be keto. That's a
Oh,
huge misconception. You know that.
it's true. I mean, there is probably a little sugar in keto, but the misconception is thinking that certain ingredients or certain foods are not keto. So
Mm.
I'm sorry for people who hate the air quotes thing, but I do it. Um, Everyone's body is different. Everyone can tolerate a different amount of carbs and sugar and then also stay in ketosis. So when, really aggro and strict keto people look at you and they try to say like, oh, like you just ate, I don't even know. You just ate an onion, which is like the highest vegetable carb. Like that's not keto. That's not a thing. It's so not a thing. I'm here to vouch for all laid back keto people who can easily cycle in and out of ketosis. Don't don't think that, you have to be so strict with yourself because you don't. It's all up to your body and the way it's adapted. Like I said, fat adaptation is a little different for everyone.
Mhm. But and if you go off of it though, what are the whole repercussions with because you said what it's like 5 or 7 days for you to enter ketosis. So what if you mess up? Do you know what I'm saying? Like most diets,
Yeah.
it's like, oh my God, if you go off, it's gonna take you forever. How does that work?
It it can just make it a little longer to get into ketosis, but I
Hmm.
think that going slow is actually the point, honestly. I think that's the safest way to do any change, any major change in your diet. Do it slowly. You don't have to go cold turkey. You know what
You
I mean?
don't? No, I'm
No,
just
not
kidding.
at all. You don't. I mean, you can eat all the turkey you want on keto, but yeah. So although it could take I recommend people slowly lower your carb intake. Don't just quit all of a sudden, tomorrow, and that's when you end up with keto food. That's when you kind of feel lethargic, a little
Hmm.
brain fog. That's when people start to feel uncomfortable and like they're maybe catching a cold or a flu or something. That's just because we haven't supplemented your diet with the right uh, electrolytes, magnesium, different nutritional things that you usually get from carbs. We just have to add those back in a different way.
So it's just about reintroducing, reassembling
Yeah,
it, right?
exactly, exactly. It's just switching out certain things for other things. And then before you know it, you're easily eating a very low carb diet, or you're not bloated anymore. Um, People who usually suffer from diabetes or heart disease
Hmm.
find a lot of great success with keto. So it's not just a fad diet, it is something that has truly changed people's lives and even saved their lives because they were facing such serious health challenges. And honestly, I first thought I wasn't sure what my doctor was going to think when I told
I'm
her
gonna
that
ask
I
you.
was doing keto, but she's been very supportive of it, and she sees how I'm doing and how my health is going, and she's like, "This is great. No problem."
What, okay, and I love that because obviously it's a healthier alternative. What originally made you go on keto? So aside from the coaching and whatnot, what made you truly go, I'm gonna be keto?
Mhm. Self-professed sugar addict in the room. Hi, my name is Kimmy. I'm a sugar addict,
Same.
and it just got to a point. At first I wondered, is this just me maturing? Is this me having different hormones come up
Hmm.
because, maybe my body's getting ready to have kids, all that biological stuff. I was like, am I just getting old? What's going on? Because I feel like all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was probably around 27, felt like shit all the
So
time.
just yesterday.
Yeah, thank you. Um, and I realized, like, look, the alcohol is probably not serving me very well right now. I have acid reflux all the time. You remember when you first met me? I had acid reflux all the time.
And then I slowly got it. I was like,
Yeah, exactly. Um, I was constantly just bloated,
mhm.
um, lethargic, low energy, to the point where I just was not able to live life in any kind of way that was satisfying or fun or meaningful to me. Of course, I was eating foods that tasted good, but was I fulfilled later? Was I going out and experiencing life while eating the best of life at the same time? No. But that is how I feel when I am on keto. It's pretty great.
So sugar, I personally knew that, but that's what I was thinking, like sugar journey into cleaning that up and then kind
Yeah,
of,
I used to think people were crazy when they told me that they would go on sugar detoxes. You know what
so
I
did I.
Yeah, I remember one of our mutual friends in LA was telling me, if you have issues with candida or again acid reflux, it might be sugar. If your skin is freaking out, it's probably sugar. And I just remember just being like, I believe you, but that's never gonna happen. Um,
Whoa.
but that's how low my quality of life was. And then I realized slowly but surely I think they're all right. I think I
Who
need
said that? I want to know who now.
Malia.
Ah, okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. I was gonna say, I'm
Yeah.
like, who told you that? That's, see, and that's the thing too that blows my mind. I like, you would never guess how many people are off of sugar or on these specific diets because it's just a part of them functioning.
Well, you're in LA, so I imagine, you hear about people and their new diets and new nutrition plans and stuff all the
Oh
time.
yeah.
In the Bay Area, honestly, no one's really talking about that.
I don't like, but you know, the thing is, it's like for me, it's such like a personal thing for me, and I actually love that. I think it benefits me. I'm
Hmm.
not like, oh my God, I'm like, doing this and doing that.
No, I just like stick with it. So that's kind of, my thing. And it's funny because you brought up when we first started talking is you brought up the Ayurvedic, and it's like, my journey is anti-inflammatory.
Hmm.
Anti-inflammatory, calming down. I'm really tall. I have a wide body set, right? Like,
Hmm.
I'm bony and like lanky. So I feel like anti-inflammatory is good for me, but like parts of keto I naturally do because that's in the same hemisphere. I'm cutting the carbs and
Yes.
um I feel like that works for me really well. But
Yeah, the anti-inflammatory journey is another huge reason why a lot of people started keto.
mhm,
And the last girl I just did a live with, actually, she told me she lost over 100 pounds doing keto, and the reason she did it was because of inflammation, because her body was healing after a huge spinal surgery,
oof,
and she was experiencing so much inflammation and just pain that she tried keto, and it worked.
absolutely. And that's the thing. It's like I feel like, oh, Ali said absolutely about listening to your body. It's like no matter what diet you're on or exercise, I know we've talked about this before. It's like you have to listen to what your body wants and what, if you're going through surgery or whatever, like you said,
Mhm.
that's crazy. Like a spinal surgery, that's so intense. Your
Yeah.
body probably wants, you know what I mean? Like certain
Yeah.
things, right?
Yes, your body needs different things at different times in your life, and the intuition is huge. So that's another major component that I advocate for with everyone that I coach. We need to build your intuition. We need to get you knowing and listening and
Mm,
feeling what's happening with your body. So instead of just paying attention when you're in pain, why don't
mm.
we pay attention when you're feeling amazing as well, so that we can keep doing the same things that you did that's making you feel good that day.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's the thing because it's like why and the other thing too is like why is it such like a weird conversation? It's like, hi, it took us a literal pandemic for people to actually wake up in a huge array of ways. And
Mm-hmm.
this is why I'm like, yes, it's so important because coaching through dieting and lifestyle through dieting is like honey, that's a life stress, anxiety, sexual frustration, career change,
Mm-hmm.
kids,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, right?
Yes, that's all the boxes right there. Yeah. All
Um,
things, when you start paying attention to your body and what you're doing with it and what you're feeding yourself,
I
it's
know.
crazy, but all those things, all those parts of your life somehow benefit.
Honey, can I get an amen? No. We need a cheers. We need a cheers because
Yeah.
I feel like honestly, that's like you, and that's the thing. It's like, this is the huge thing with you and your journey. And as well as you've watched, we met in the makeup industry, which is like, I'm just completely insane.
Yeah.
So I feel like the thing is, it's so funny, is like you can still balance that through a healthy lifestyle and really just
Yes.
keeping it kosher and keeping it like intuitive. Listen to your intuition. You remember like all those times like I feel like so crazy from like being so far away and eat the worst food
Oh, yeah.
and drink the worst drinks.
Oh, I remember. Yes. But all
It's
the time, that was the difference.
and that's what I think, I think of people that have like, a few kids, a demanding job,
Hmm.
live in a stressful city. It's
Hmm.
like, girl,
Yeah. It's
it
so
blows my mind.
yeah, it's so easy to lose touch. Um, and so that's why being at home and being in tune with what you're doing, what you're feeding yourself, and finding enjoyment in preparing those meals for yourself is so important, because you think you're going to go out and enjoy every single meal that you get outside. No way. How often do you get, you know, bad customer service, or someone in the restaurant is like
In LA?
crazy? Yeah, exactly. Or, your food's cold because you ordered it from Uber Eats. Of course it's gonna be cold. What did you think was gonna happen?
In
Like,
San Francisco? Oh, that's San Francisco. In San Francisco? What? In
oh, LA,
Berkeley?
a magical place. Your food arrives hot. I love it.
Yes, and a celebrity, Richard Gere, brings it to me.
Exactly.
Duh.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, how can you expect to live this fulfilled nutritional life if you're not cooking at home? There's just no way.
Where's food prep on your list of dieting, coaching, keto?
Oh, it's up there, and it's for sure a major component in my new group coaching course, which is called Command Your Kitchen. We're building confidence in the kitchen and empowering everyone every single meal. So, Command Your Kitchen is one of those group courses I mentioned where it's interactive,
Okay.
intimate, where we're learning from each other and we're sharing our cooking experiences with each other. It's crazy to me when I'm in the grocery store, I'm standing in line, and I see grown adults who have nothing but instant ramen in their baskets, you know?
Oh, every day, every single time.
Yeah, and it's not just a couple, y'all.
Right.
It's like the
Oh,
whole
honey, it's everybody.
basket. Yeah, it's the whole basket. It's like 10 frozen meals and a liter of vodka. And look, I get it. That's gotta happen sometimes. But you can tell when this is just their daily life and not just a moment they're having. You know what I mean?
I'm laughing because it's like literally, welcome to the pandemic. I've
Yeah.
got a Tito Kettle One, what the fuck ever, and I've got 25 packs of ramen.
Oh, we can only pray they're drinking Tito's. We can only pray.
What?
Yeah. Right. And so, oh my goodness,
Sorry, I had
people
to.
that
Yeah.
are right now. Yes, yes. Enjoy the other foods that maybe might give you a stomach ache sometimes. Have your
Yeah.
moments. Eat whatever is honestly making you feel happy and fulfilled in life. Just make sure most of it is real ingredients, real, natural, whole plants and things that grew in soil. Something that wasn't like made in a lab and then mushed together with some plastic
Or like the hot bar. That's my favorite. And people are like, I'm doing really good. It's healthy. It's from it's in a plastic hot bar bag.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wow.
And that's why Command Your Kitchen exists, because you do not need to live your life like that, y'all. It doesn't matter how old you are. I don't care. I know there's so many reasons why people have not learned how to cook for themselves. And I know
Why?
it's funny. Um, and it's like that needs to change. Everyone needs to be able to prepare meals for themselves and truly enjoy it and know that it's self-care.
100%, because that's my favorite. That is my all-time favorite thing. And I feel like that's such a good thing to hold yourself accountable to is like, you need it to be like balanced for yourself and intuition based.
Yeah, absolutely intuition based. I mean, I honestly, like I said, you asked me why I started keto, right? And not only
Hmm.
was it because I was in, probably a depressed period in my life and feeling lethargic and all those things, but also because let's get real. Which one's more important? Which one should I focus on first, nutrition or exercise? Nutrition
Nutrition.
first.
Hmm.
Nutrition first, always, and at this time, I just want everyone to know you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get everything right. Not at all. You get to have moments where you are eating the most healthiest meal and then enjoy the moments where you're, like I said, eating a Twix bar because that's what I'm doing. And it makes the other moments just
It's
taste amazing.
real.
Yeah. So again, myth busted. Keto is not a super restrictive diet by any means. And I mean, my fiance would just tell you he would never think that I would quit sugar and be happier for it and
I
say
didn't think you would either. No, I'm kidding.
anything. I know. Yeah, exactly.
No,
Exactly.
it's amazing. It's amazing. And I think the journey is amazing that people are on, you've been on, and I've been on. And it's like, I feel like there's room for everybody in it, you know?
Yeah, there is for sure. So I love when you post your food post, Justin. I love that so much. Everyone's, going on food crazes right now. Like the popular thing to bake at home is sourdough bread or
Ooh.
what or, I don't
Like
even
corny shit.
was the thing that was popular the other week. And it's like, look, not everyone knows how to do that.
Right.
Not everyone knows how to do that. So why don't we focus the attention back on the process and not just the result?
Amen to
Mm.
that. I want to talk about, in closing with our questions, I want to talk about your Instagram platform. Navigate us through, if I'm watching this tomorrow, next week, and they're like, oh my God, navigate us through what they can find on your Instagram, links, topics. Let's talk about it.
Yes. So the thing about Instagram right now is there's so much of it. Oh my God, there's so much content right
No.
now that you have to filter through. So it's very intentional, you know what I mean? And it's informative. And so what you're going to see from me a lot lately is these live chats because I think everyone should be connecting and we should be building community even
Absolutely.
while we're staying inside. So I realize what's the best way for me to enjoy what I'm doing and include others as well. Let's do these live chats right now. So if anyone wants to be part of my Keto Live series on Instagram, please let me know.
DM you,
Justin and I
DM me.
about health in general. You do not have to be keto. I just want to get to know as many people as possible. And I want the wellness and the attention and the intuition to be growing through this Instagram world that we live in. And then I also just want people to know that I do have a special gift available for anyone who signs up for coaching with me and watch this live. Justin, do you remember that spice kit I sent you from Oaktown Spice Shop?
Yeah.
I'm gifting whoever watches this live and signs up for a class with me a personalized spice kit from Oaktown Spice Shop. So this is just a preview. This is just a preview of their golden milk spice.
Okay, hold on. Before this, because this is going to start counting down the time. No. These spices, y'all. So I love everybody that's going to watch this later because we're going to run it until you pick a person. These spices are motherfucking spicing my life up on a daily. That's
Yes,
all I
and
have to say. Keep going.
they need to be spread throughout the world. So that's just a special gift I want to offer anyone who joined our live today and
Okay.
signs up for class with me. But Justin, I can't thank you enough for chatting with me today.
Babe, no. Thank you. Thank you for literally being a part of my Awaken Week. I cannot wait to do more things with you. Thanks for helping me. You coached and you brought me back to life, and thanks for being a good friend.
Oh, we're here. We're in this together, all of us. And I love you so much.
I love you so much.
Yes, everyone. Awaken Week's not over. You still have a couple more. Is that right?
Yeah, I have one more, and then we'll reinvigorate it. But before we get off there, are we gonna let this run then for people that watch this later? Because you know it's gonna be permanent.
Oh, absolutely. Please keep it up.
Message her. Keto with Kimmi. If you
Yes.
watch the huge video, this is the video. Keto with Kimmi on Instagram, or you can message, hey girl, you can message me and let me know, and I'll pass your ass over. I'll pass that ass over. Okay?
Make sure I'm not even gonna go there.
Yeah, girl. We're moving on to the next outlet, me and you.
Okay.
Love you all. Thanks for
Thanks,
tuning
everyone.
in. Love you. And love and light as always.